Okie dokie boys and girls, it is day 299 of bulking to 75 kilos with calisthenics only, and today we have a push day which will consist out of two parts. First of all, a planche workout, and then second of all, a push-up workout. And even though my priority is the push-ups, I want to progress at the push-ups, I'm doing the planche first, because if I do the push-up first and I completely destroy myself on those, basically, I've beaten myself down to the point that I'm barely able to do a simple push-up. So after that, even if I try to recover, I'm not gonna have nowhere near enough energy to do any useful planche training, right? Because when it comes to like energy level for one rep, the push-up is here and the planche is all the way up here, I'm not gonna be able to go up there anymore. But if I do the planche first, even if I get a little bit tired, right? I'll be still with energy levels here, and the push-up, what I need is here. I can go down there, I can still beat myself down and go to this level of the push-up. I have some leeway, I have some more energy to spend. So that's why even though my push-up, like normal push-ups are the priority, volume is the priority, I'm doing this planche workout first. But what is important to notice is, well, because the push-ups are my priority, I'm not gonna kill myself on the planche workout. I'm not gonna force myself to make progress. It's okay to try and progress, right? Ever since starting these push-ups, I've progressed in the planche combo, going from like a 5-second hold to 1 push-up and 1 press, to doing a 5-second hold and doing 3 push-ups and 3 presses. I've made progress, right? But now I feel like my progress is kind of plateauing, and instead of, like changing my training and, trying to tweak things for my planche to progress, I just have to realize like, hey, the priority is push-ups, so it's okay if your planche is not growing very fast. If I'm hitting a plateau on the planche, that's okay. I'm not gonna put more energy in the planche because I want to use that energy for the push-ups. Instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change courses a little bit, I'm gonna change the stimulus, and basically do a little bit different things which my body is not used to, so that I can, use that new stimulus and grow a little bit more in the weak areas of my planche, which what I'm gonna do at the moment is some supinated planche. For me, like supinated planche is very weak, so what I'm basically gonna do is some sets of this, and then afterwards I can do some more sets of like a normal planche, but targeting the weak spots when basically you're not prioritizing the progression in a certain exercise is a very good idea. It's like when you're injured and you can't progress or get stronger, use that time to bulletproof your body. That's kind of the exact same thing I'm doing here. I'm gonna do supinated planche in order to bulletproof my biceps. But yeah, let's go. Alright, that's the first easy sit. Next one will be straddle. Hopefully the one after that will be a full planche. But there's two things I'm focusing on for the supinated planche, which if you're training the planche, it might come in handy. First of all, I try to squeeze the bar. Second of all, I also try to make sure that my wrists are not caving in. So I don't let my wrist go over the bar. I always maintain a straight grip where the wrist is on top of my hand, basically. That's very important not to expose your bicep to injury, I guess. So yeah, let's work our way up into the progressions. Alright, 5 seconds. It feels okay, but I'm just wondering if I'll be able to do a full planche for even 2 seconds. Only one way to find out. Yes! I did it a little bit, I think. It was a little bit of a hold. And I feel good. I can do this for a couple more sets. Let's go! Alright, I think 4 seconds is about my max at the moment, but if I can get like 5 to 10 seconds eventually, that will be very nice. I'm gonna do 1 or 2 more sets of full planche and then maybe do a couple of straddle planche more, but yeah, very nice. Alright, fucking hell. Whew. Whew. Alright, let's move on to something else. Something planche related, but something else. Whew. 6 seconds. Alright, so I just did a weighted planche, which might seem like a weird idea after the supinated planche, and to be honest, in my head, it also feels like a weird idea, but in my heart, it just felt right, you know. When you're training for like a little while, eventually you'll like start to feel what training will be useful, what training will feel good. And I think it's good to basically adjust your training towards that feeling, you know. It's there for a reason. It's like AI is built on experience, right? It's built on certain input. But AI is artificial intelligence. The real intelligence is in your head, and you know, your head is also based on experience. So if for some reason your head is telling you, hey, you know, you should push yourself, you should do some weighted sits, well, why not give it a go, you know? And if it's wrong, sometimes it's gonna be wrong, but that's new input, you know, that your brain will use as an experience next time to not just suggest the same thing. So I did one sit here of weighted planche hold, 6 seconds, which I think is very good, at least for this point in the workout. Now I'm gonna do a couple more weighted sits, I think 1 or 2 actually, of some push-ups, and then move on to a final bit of just body weight with holds and presses. Not too bad. Okie dokie, so if you're looking to make some bicep gains, definitely give the supinated planche a go. You know, even if it's not full planche, doing a lean planche supinated or a tuck planche supinated will just, you know, when you're in the supinated grip, your bicep is exposed to be used, so it will definitely have some effect. But that's it for planche training. More sets than I usually do, but they also weren't as intense, so I think it's fine. Now I'm moving on to the big one, which is push-ups. And for push-ups, today's goal is very simple. I'm still doing a lighter day because I'm deloading for Sunday, which means when it comes to endurance, right, a lighter workout, you just have to do more difficult sets. Because if you do more difficult sets, it means that you can do less sets in total, which equals less volume, which equals less fatigue. That's basically the way I'm going at the moment, and it seems to be working, you know. I'm recovering. I could do more push-ups today, but I've got a priority to handle on Sunday. So what I'm gonna do, very simple. Last time I did my EMOM sits every minute on the minute with the Japanese push-ups, 25 reps instead of 20, so that already makes it harder. But I also used the backpack of 10 kilos. Now, I did this and I was only able to do 4 sets. That's fucking pathetic. So today's goal is very simple. First of all, beat it, right? Do 5 sets. And then just see how long I can keep going. But basically, I do a sit every minute on the minute. The remainder of the time. So if my sit takes 15 seconds, I have 45 seconds of rest, and then I basically go again. And this is a very good method to build volume, to build endurance, to build work capacity. So I've been using it quite a lot, but let's just shut up and get going. Fuck yeah. 5 sits and 5 reps, which is 1 sit and 5 reps more than last time, which it might not seem like a lot, but you know, these EMOM workouts, perhaps you start out doing 4 or 5 sits, but if next time you can do 1 sit more, you know, and then the next time 1 sit more, you repeat that for 30 to 40 times, and you're at like 45 sets, which that's an insane amount of volume, you know. So let's say you do this workout twice a week, you do it 40 times in 20 weeks, you know, you'll be, what is it, tenfolding your volume. Like, that's insane. So next time I might be doing this again, and I might just get 6 sets, and then 7, 8, and then, well, it just continues to build up, doesn't it? And the fun thing is with endurance, once you're past a certain hurdle, you know, once you're past like the power phase where you really have to use your power in order to do those reps, when they become smooth, it turns into an endurance thing. And humans are very good at endurance, you know. So the gains you make will eventually become exponentially bigger, because once you're at those 20, you know, it's not just going to be increasing 1 set at a time. It might just be increasing 2 or 3 or 4 sets at a time. That, like the amount of sets you're able to do, which is very fun, of course. Now, that's it for the Japanese style push-ups. My chest is feeling absolutely destroyed. Now it's on to the last exercise of the day, which conveniently is also going to be push-ups, you know. Don't just think I'm going to end my volume workout having done 130 push-ups. Like, that's not enough. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to do 4 sets of normal push-ups. Last time I did 4 sets of 60. Today I'm going to aim for 4 sets of 70. I'm allowed to rest in between, you know, but I just have to keep the push-up position. I'm also going to try and keep my hands both on the ground at all times, so that I can't escape the plank position, or I guess I can by going into a pike, but there will be constant pressure on both of my arms, which I think is really gonna benefit the endurance, you know, and I guess improve the pain tolerance as well, because it is everything but comfortable. Like, this is gonna fucking suck at the end of a workout, but this is the only way that I'm gonna be able to end the workout with satisfaction and go eat some chicken downstairs, you know. If I don't do this, the chicken won't taste as good, so I have to do it. 4 sets, 3 minutes of rest in between, 70 reps each. That's the goal. Let's go. Ah, fuck. I have to take my glasses off next time. Alright, so I miscounted in between and I don't know how many reps I actually did, but it seems like it was 80 reps instead of the planned 70, which it's more so I'm not complaining. I also have to rewatch the footage to see if I was properly stretching my arms. You know, if at least I'm stretching them decently at the end, I'm quite fucking satisfied. But what I'm most satisfied about at the moment is this fucking insane pump. Holy sh... it just feels insane. You know, having a chest full of blood, like really there's nothing like doing high volume push-ups for a pump, I believe. Like high volume in general, when you do high volume anything, it's just gonna get you insanely pumped, like unimaginable level of pumpness. But excuse me, that's it for today's training. I'm very happy with how it went. And yeah, let's discuss, you know, because, well, after the planche workout, I went on to do a bunch of push-ups, I guess 410 in total. But because of those push-ups, of course, it's not like I'm doing them for free. I'm gonna pay them for them in terms of recovery. So if I were to have done today's planche workout and then nothing else, then next time I would be stronger at planche than, you know, versus now when I did some push-ups at the end as well. I'm not only gonna have to recover from the planche, I'm also gonna have to recover from the push-ups, so I'm basically dividing my energy. But, you know, that's something you have to accept because you only have so much energy, right? So if you want to train multiple things, it's logical that you're dividing them. But what I think is very important is that no matter if you're doing 2 exercises or 3 exercises, right? Make sure that you determine your priority, because your priority is basically the exercise that you have to tailor your training towards. It's the exercise that you have to make progression on, you know. For me, that's the push-ups. If I don't progress on the planche, that's not the end of the world at the moment, you know. I have a good base, which I'm maintaining, and I'm actually surprised that I'm even able to maintain my base of planche while doing these push-ups, you know. But what should really concern me is if my push-ups aren't progressing, because that would mean that I have to change something up, you know. Determine your priority, right? For every day that you are doing in your training, pick an exercise, do it long term, try to get as strong as possible on it, because think about it, you know, even if no matter if your goal is like getting strong or getting muscle, right? A stronger body is gonna become a more muscular one, right? So you're not gonna have any downsides of becoming strong, right? The basis of training, the basis of strength training, right, is to get strong. It's in the name. And when you get strong at one exercise, you're gonna have this insanely well developed base that is gonna help you get stronger in other areas as well. So for me, like for years, right, I've been concentrating on the planche. Because I'm strong at the planche, I'm now able to progress quickly on the push-ups. But if I continue to build this base of push-ups, I'm also gonna get a very strong base to then basically progress in other exercises. So yeah, that's it for today's training. Very happy with how it went. I'm gonna enjoy my chicken because I did my push-ups. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you tomorrow for day number 300. Like, that's insane. 300 days.